We honor you today, those who came before us, and those who walk among us, the children from the celestial realms, who come to us through birth so that we may experience life and all its bitterness and sorrow in the path we must journey to perfect ourselves. We call on you, great spirits of our lineage, both for humanity in its whole and us as individuals. We honor your strength and the ability to heal ourselves and others. We ask you for your protection and guidance, not just on this special day, but for every day. We ask that your messages be heard well and used for the highest and greatest good for humanity and ourselves. May you guide us on the paths of light, life, and love. Hey guys, Scarlet Darkwood here. Happy Samhain. It's the time when the veil becomes thin. It's the time when the spirits move from their world above and can get closer to us here on earth. And it's the time when we really come to look at death and dying, life after death. And it's also a time to do some good ancestor work. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really gotten much into ancestry work. Wasn't sure how I felt about it, what the purpose of it was. I do know that from looking back at my Rosicrucian monographs, because I was just really curious to what they had to say about ancestors, and if it was anything that would kind of pique my interest, or maybe if I could relearn something that I had forgotten. So I did a search on my monographs. And what I relearned from a Rosicrucian standpoint is that really the ancestors are not only from the cosmic realm directly or from the spirit world, they are us when we incarnate into a body on earth. So technically all of us are ancestors in a way. We are celestial beings. And we come to earth to go through its trials, its suffering, its sorrow, because we're still trying to perfect ourselves, and we learn from crises. We learn from the hurt and the sorrow that we feel. We enjoy the happiness, but it's hard to appreciate it if you don't know the bad as well. And so the Rosicrucians say that really the child is an ancestor before it's born from the mother. And that of this notion of life after death stemmed probably from the Atlanteans, and the Egyptians learned from those teachings from Atlantis. And from that time forward in all the religions, especially if you look at ancient religions, Native American religions, African American, or I guess African religions, they honor the ancestors. There's this concept of life after death that's inherent in all the religions, and many of these older religions honored ancestors. They did rites to honor the ancestors. They created altars for them, and that's still done today. And in the pagan or occult world, a lot of people, especially in conjuring and other I guess practices that pagans do, they honor the ancestors. I'm Rosicrucian, and I really don't spend time honoring the ancestors as such. Not that I probably shouldn't, but maybe it's because I didn't understand enough about it. And in the monographs, I didn't necessarily see ancestry work as part of that. They tended to view ancestors as humanity or people that were literally before us on this earth. Sometimes they talk about certain kings or leaders in ancient civilizations being an ancestor of something. So they talked about it in that sense. But they do say that really the child is the ancestor. It comes from the celestial world. We return in the form as children. Our children are the ancestors reincarnating or incarnating to continue their journey on earth. And that's kind of where they took that and how they explain that. So you might ask, okay, what would be the point of working with ancestors? That was my question. I couldn't find it necessarily from a Rosicrucian point of view. I even got on their YouTube site and I still couldn't find anything with ancestry work. So I had to do a little bit more digging, and basically there are ancestors not only from our bloodline lineage, there's also that spirit lineage that's connected to us as well. And these are the spirits who are well versed in the elementals: air, fire, water, earth. They know how to work with these attributes. They know how to use them. They know how to pull from their energy. And they want to teach us how to do that so that we can perfect our journey and really understand and use our power as we progress through life. And so that would be a reason why you would want to honor ancestors in that way. Now, the Rosicrucians would say when Aunt Margie passes away, she doesn't automatically become more knowledgeable just because she's not on Earth anymore. But, you know, Aunt Margie may have still had some good advice to give you. Maybe you just didn't talk to her when she was here on Earth. Could you still pull from her wisdom and her knowledge? If you worked with her or called on her, or if you called on your ancestors for guidance on a certain particular matter, perhaps. If we can channel spirits from the cosmic or God or from angels or wherever, why not from our ancestors, especially if we're celestial spiritual beings? Why couldn't you do that? You know, they may be able to offer some advice or guidance on a particular subject. Those who immigrated here, you know, many years ago, you know, 100 years ago or whatever, they could probably give you some different things, or I guess aspects on life, maybe different perspectives, what they learned, if we just simply call and ask for that guidance. So it's important to remember that when we are born of our parents, our ancestors come with us. The spirit ancestors come with us, and they want to help us heal. A lot of times, past life work might be a glimpse into why you're suffering certain things, why you're suffering from depression, why you suffer from migraines, or why do you have this particular problem you have to deal with and you can't understand why you can't solve it. It may be that doing some ancestry work and understanding that might help you heal. So ancestors help us heal. And what I want to leave with you today, and to really remind myself of, is to ignore our ancestors. To ignore our ancestors is to ignore an integral part of ourselves. And we don't want to do that. So I would challenge you today for Samhain, maybe do a prayer for your ancestors, a prayer to help, help you, maybe for them to help guide you, to give you more wisdom, more understanding. Take a moment and to close your eyes and to meditate and visualize that and see what kind of impressions you get. If you do that, please put them in the comments below, what your experiences are, maybe what you got from the meditation or from what you got from the prayer. I would love to hear your all's advice and experience. It helps me. Maybe we can help each other. And so have a great Samhain, and if you haven't done so before, try working with those ancestors. I think I may give it a try.